This the real thing, not a catfish. Niggas like that, man, cannot miss. I chose rap over other options. Told my queen, trust me, I got this. I've got more flow than the 7 Seas. Could rap fast, but I'd rather let the sample breathe. My team living legends, leaving legacies. The words hold weight past that triple beam. A quarter century ain't really nothing to me. Survived the recession, shit was wild, gloomy. Fabricated war stories do not move me. He said New York was hostile, the crowd did not boo me. This the real thing, not a catfish. Niggas like that, man, cannot miss. I chose rap over other options. Told my queen, trust me, I got this.
I'm your host, Sammy Loco. I'm here with, going to introduce yourself.
dskillz Harris, aka Skills Mega from BBL Down by Law.
And you have a new album coming out. Give us the title of that and the meaning behind that.
So basically, the title is called Requiem for a Quarantine Dream. It's a reference to the movie. Like many people feel like it's a classic, but other than that, mainly like I was forced to quarantine for a week, had a fever like 5 days straight, and I physically I couldn't rap, could barely eat, things of that nature. So I was in and out of consciousness. So it was just like, I remember somebody was telling me that like when you sleep or when you dream, you're supposed to be able to remember it. I couldn't remember nothing, bro. I was just in and out because I'm unvaccinated. I was on man medication, so I couldn't really remember whatever I was dreaming about. But I was writing a lot, you know what I mean? So, but it was just frustrating that I couldn't really rap. But as soon as, you know, I beat that, it just put a battery on my back. So it was like, okay. But I got other albums in the stash, like the next episode, part 2. It's me and Chili Mads collab project. That'll be the end of our trilogy. Liberated Scarface, this is me and Black Chakra album dropping later this year. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way because there was a lot that I wanted to say that I couldn't say at the time. So once I was out of that, I decided to just go ahead and put that on wax.
This is pertaining to all rappers, but for you, why is it very important to record so much music and things of that nature?
Well, music is very therapeutic for me, you know what I mean? But outside of that, I just like dropping. It's just become a habit, you know, it's like muscle memory, like Ray Allen, for like basketball, right? He was like, great shooters don't leave the gym until they make 100 shots. So I would consider like a tape, you going in, like you in the gym, like this isn't like it's an album, but it's more so like a concept type of tape. You see what I'm saying? So this is just me, you know, getting people prepared for like the more serious projects, like the next episode and so forth. This one is the more personal out of all of those, you know what I mean? So it was just like I had a lot to say, and I tried my best to like vocalize that.
All right, so I'm gonna get into the track list. The first track I'm gonna go to is Flows. Now, Flows, you was explaining, you know, the New York trip that we infamously talked about before.
Right, yeah.
Can you elaborate pretty much on that? Like, I know it's a short song, but tell me the process in that.
It's a short intro track, and I was just thinking about how like a lot of people comment on the amount of music that I drop, and I do drop, you know, large quantities of music, but it's not just about the quantity; it's about the quality. You know what I mean? So people, they listen to the albums, and it's like, oh, like he drops a lot of content, but there's never a dip in the quality. You know, quality is very important to me. So I make sure that I'm very consistent. So, you know, like they say, that man cannot miss. Chose rap over other options. Right? Like I still have like hustles and like a job and everything like that. But right now, you know, music is moving in a very positive direction. So I told my client, don't trip, I got this. So it's like, I know that it's a grind, especially being an independent underground artist and purposely not being mainstream, but it's going to pay off in the end because people resonate with the authenticity in the music. So, you know, everything comes back in cycles. So, you know.
All right. So this is not going in order, but apes don't kill apes. Now, it's a
Yeah.
line that say that, first of all, who is Sean, first of all?
Sean Price, legendary Brooklyn rapper. And he had an album called Monkey Bars. And, you know, like he used to refer to himself a lot as an ape, you know what I mean? So Caesar from Planet of the Apes, it was a bar that he had where it was like Sean had where he said ape don't kill ape. So I was like, all right. And Sean Price, you know, he's no longer with us, but his legacy lives on forever. So that was just another Sean Price reference. You know?
Going into the song, and correct me if I'm wrong, they say they don't kill self, but they teach self-hate.
Yeah, ape don't kill ape, ape don't kill self, but ape taught self-hate. Like, you know, the whole, you know, quote Malcolm X, yo, who taught you to hate yourself? You feel me? Just talking about like self-hatred that's instilled in a lot of our people. You know what I mean? So
The next song after that is No Stepped On Work. Now it's
right,
self-explanatory,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
for the people that don't know about that type of action, can you explain that also?
no step don't work. That's like just pure raw, whatever work you give me, you feel me? So I was saying like we're not stepping on the product over here. Like we're giving you straight raw, authentic, unfiltered hip hop. You know what I mean? So it was like the opposite of flows. Like flows was still hard, but flows was more like calm, cool, and collected. Whereas No More Step Don't Work is like, all right, we gave y'all the intro, but this is what we really about to get into. We about to get into this right here. So there's no step on work. Like it's pure, it's untouched. It's, you know what I mean? It's not stepped on. Nobody added anything to it. It came off the boat like that. You know what I mean?
The next song after that is Time Zones.
Right. Okay. So the interesting fact about that, Odd he's a producer here in Maryland. He produced that beat, Time Zones. The fun fact about that is J Powell Music. That's his first rap feature on the album. And he is in LA, actually. He's in Cali for real. So the fact that he's on the West Coast and we're, you know, passing things back and forth between different time zones, just why it's like that. Why I called it that. You know what I mean?
Large Picture.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of battle rap. One of my favorite battle rappers is Lord Deluxe. And he told Calico famously, I'm trying to give you the large picture. You know what I mean? So I was like, give you the large picture. Y'all gonna have to zoom like Mazda. Get it? Zoom like Mazda. You feel me? But yeah, definitely the large picture, just elaborating more so on No Step Don't Work. Like No Step Don't Work was like more braggadocious. I feel like I was saying more detailed shit in the larger picture, you know what I mean?
And a very particular part in that song is something that caught my attention. My fans want vinyl. Is that a true fact?
That is a fact. I wouldn't lie about something like that. Especially after I dropped They Still Need Food. People were like, when are the sets coming out, when are the vinyls coming out? So that's just something I wanted to stress because one time it was a live for real, and like different artists were in the live. People was talking about like they find it hard to move CDs, and they like people don't buy CDs no more. I'm like, man, I don't know about that. You feel me? Like DVL Records, I made the label, like I made the cover design and all that. As far as the CDs go for Rappers Are in Danger, our debut album that dropped last year. And I've sold to people here in the street, but I've also had to ship out CDs to New York, Jersey, Georgia, Michigan, different places like that. So I don't think that that's the case, that people don't sell physicals anymore. They can't sell physicals. I don't think that's true at all. So that was a kind of a response to that. Some of people don't sell CDs anymore. Like, that's crazy.
in and out of consciousness.
True story. In and out of consciousness, 5 days straight. I had a fever. I had a fever, couldn't really eat, couldn't drink anything. Like I could drink water, but like it hurt for real. Like I'm just glad that I beat that. I'm still here and I can taste, a lot of people who caught that, they taste buds not right still. So, this whole experience just put extra battery in my back. I felt rejuvenated. Like, all right, like I'm here. I'm gonna make the most of my time. Like I really need to go make this shit happen. You feel me? Because I really, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I thought I was gonna be out here, but when I had that fever 3 days straight, then it turned into 5 days. I was like, shit, bro. Like, you feel me? Like it was just a different experience, bro. Not being able to do anything that I wanted to do, not being able to leave the crib, not being able to record. You know what I mean? Just being isolated for that week. To myself, it was a lot to think about. So in and out of consciousness, that's really what it was. I was on mad medication to beat that. And I beat that. So God is good. But yeah, man, that's what that was about.
What was your thoughts before Corona? Like you didn't believe it, or it was just like
I knew Corona was real, but I didn't know how it really was. You feel me? Like the person that gave it to me, I'm not mad at them or anything like that, but I put that line in there where I was like, even if you think you got a cold, wear a mask. You feel me? The person that gave it to me thought they just had a cold, and it turned out to be COVID. You know what I mean? So, but this whole experience taught me a valuable lesson, and that's the whole message of the song. Where I was like, you plan yourself when you put your health last. You plan yourself when you put yourself last. You feel me? That's the whole message, and that's what I learned throughout this whole experience. Like, yes, like we come from a country where materialism is glorified, and I do think that you should have nice things, especially when you work for it. But my point being is your health is your wealth, bro. What's the point of me building up mass wealth and then I don't live to spend any of it?
well, we can go deeper into that because it happened. This was going on before our time. This is going back to ancient days. Even BMF said it on I forgot what song, Jay-Z song, but I mean, I look back at that and then that's all we glorified was gold and who the most, I guess the most materialistic things you had, you was on top, and the less you had, you was poor.
Pimp C, always get the most, not the lesser.
Exactly. So I mean, I feel that. I feel that. Try Again, Lie Again.
So me and O'Keys made that beat. O'Keys is a PBL member. So Try Again, Lie Again, just some hardcore hip hop. Basically, just like, all right, like I might have been gone for a minute because of COVID, because of me catching COVID. Fucking, They Still Need Food came out later than what it was supposed to, and then it took me a minute to get this one done. So I wanted to let it be known, like, yo, like I'm still top tier. You know what I mean? So yeah. Like you said, your rhyme slides mine, nigga, try again. Feel me? So it's just like I'm still on it. Like I'm not slipping. I'm back on it. I'm back like I never left type shit.
Now, in the song, you call yourself Mr. No Swine. Now,
Yeah.
has anybody else called you that, or it's just something that you live by?
It's just something that I live by. It's like this, right? Like I've referenced it a couple of times in the music about like telling people not to eat swine, and it's kind of been like a recurring theme. So I was just making fun of that. You feel me? Like nobody's called me Mr. No Swine. You feel me? But it's just like people who know me know, like, and people who listen to the music, they know like, oh, Skillz really don't think people should eat swine. You feel me? So it's like just a joke.
For the people that don't know, because I understand this stuff, but for people that don't know, why shouldn't you eat swine or pork?
You shouldn't eat swine or pork. It's bad for you. Pork, like pigs are dirty animals. Like they play in their feces. Like it's just, you shouldn't do it, bro. You feel me? And then like we already got to deal with racism and all types of other shit. You throw salt and swine in the mix, you in trouble, bro. For real. Might not happen right now, but you add years of continually not eating correctly. And, you know, culturally, like, you know, we eat soul food and stuff like that. Everything is good in moderation, but the pig, you should probably leave that alone.
Less. Money Don't Sleep remix.
Yeah, each and every day I'm trying to get paid. Money don't sleep. Yeah. So Mendoza produced that. Mendoza, one of the hardest producers in Jersey. So I wanted to put that in there because another thing is there's songs on there that wouldn't have normally been on one of my albums, but it was like, okay, I'm stashing mad music and some stuff is never going to see the light of day. Now it's like, I came out of COVID like, hell no. Like, I'm dropping that shit, bro. You know what I mean? Well, who said it? AZ. You never know when it's your time to go. On Life's a Bitch by him and us. I was like, no, hell no. Ain't no way I'm about to just keep these in the stash. It Don't Kill It is also a song where like it got recorded prior, but it didn't really have a home as far as a project goes. And I was like, no, yo, I'm putting this shit out there. So it was like, all right, I'm gonna do that. And then plus, like it's a more fun record in comparison to everything else on the tape. So I didn't want it to just be fire and brimstone. You feel me? Like I just wanted to lighten up the mood of the tape.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely feel you on that. Wait.
Rod the Blaze killed his verse. He set that shit off, man. Like,
I mean, I can say something that you said on there that caught my attention, even though I might look at like little small stuff, not too much double entendres and stuff like that.
I appreciate you. I think that everybody did their thing for real. But like, what were you about to say, bro?
Sorry to bother you for using my black voice.
Yeah,
now for me that I deal with that a lot because I do talk like how I do here, but off of here is different. But explain to people, like I guess people can relate to it because they go to work and they might have to use your your white voice or your professional voice. Let me put it that way. Your professional voice.
Code switching is definitely a thing, and there are situations where you might have to do that. I don't shame anybody for using their more professional voice in a professional setting. You gotta do what you gotta do. You feel me? Like, but at the same time, right? There's a movie called Sorry to Bother You, where featuring Lakeith Stanfield, and in order to get better pay and to get higher up in the company, the black workers have to use their white voice. So it's like, sorry to bother you, I'll be using my black voice. So it's like, I'm doing just fine doing me, you feel me? But it's like, it wasn't a dig or shot or no shit like that. It was just like a reference. I wanted to make that movie reference. But yeah, man, like that definitely is a real thing. And I've definitely had to do that. Like I've done that before, bro. But sometimes people hear like how we talk amongst ourselves and don't really take us seriously. They take our bread seriously, but as far as us as individuals, it's a different story. So, you know, you have to know how to conduct yourself in every space that you enter. You know what I mean? So, but that was that whole thing. Like in the business that I'm in, which is music, I'm using my black voice on and off the mic. I'm being myself and showing you the real me. So that was the point of that bar. Glad you like that. You feel me? I don't know if you saw the movie before. You seen the movie?
No, I like for me, I love the I love the actors in it, but for me, I try to stay away from things that might trigger me in some type of way. But I'm slowly getting into that. I'm slowly looking at like those because I'm a documentary type of guy, so I'll look at a documentary all day. Like those type of movies, I gotta slowly get into it and on my pace. I'll probably look at a movie like that a year later or 2 years later to understand, like, okay, I ain't gonna be triggered, gonna be good. So
no, that's smart, bro. You don't watch stuff that you know is going to make you feel a certain type of way. Like for real, I watched Malcolm and Marie. That shit should have came with a trigger warning.
Yeah.
Yeah. For real, I watched that with my girl, bro.
God bless you on that one. Grateful.
Yeah, that was like, okay, like this is gonna I did that and I just wanted to show people like, okay, like this, we're getting near the end of the album. I want to thank y'all for listening to this. I want to thank, the Most High for allowing me to beat COVID and still be here and do my thing. And things have been looking very much so up. I feel like it was a lesson that I had to learn throughout that. Like I feel like oftentimes we put things over ourselves and people over ourselves, and it was like I need to make sure I'm straight, bro. The first rule of nature is self-preservation, and not that I forgot that, but I think that I put other things over that. And in 2022, that's the last thing I need to do. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm just grateful. I'm just glad that I'm still here. I'm glad that I can make music at the level that I do. I'm glad that I've been afforded the opportunities that are now here because of the work that I've been putting in, just the gifts that I have, the people around me, the support system. I'm just grateful for everything that I talked about in the song.
Can you name something that you was, I wouldn't say ungrateful, but can you name something that you gain importance to compared to before?
I just think that I wasn't taking personal time, bro. Like I was working nonstop around the clock, bro. I was, of course, doing music, doing everything I do outside of music. Like I wasn't taking the time to make sure that I was straight, bro. Like I'm the oldest. Like me and you had separate conversations, and it's like I'm the oldest as far as my family goes. I'm the oldest male in my generation, as far as my cousins go, and as far as my household, like me and my siblings. So it's like I grew up around adults, so I'm accustomed to, you know, just taking shit on the chin. You gotta keep that shit moving, and I think that that's a great trait to have. But it's also like you got to make sure that you are straight. Like you making sure everybody else is straight and everybody knows the shit gonna get handled because you handling it. But you got to make sure that you're not a machine, yo. You're a human, like you're a human being, yo. Like you, like not to say that I didn't think I mattered or no shit like that, but it was just like I was carrying a lot of shit and I was handling a lot of shit, but I wasn't making sure that like I was making sure everybody else was straight, but I wasn't really making sure that I was, in a sense, bro. You know what I mean? So it was like that shit made me slow shit down and really evaluate my life, music-wise and everything else. And it was just like, all right, like I know I was moving too fast. I really need to get my shit together. Like I wasn't out here wilding, nothing like that. But it just helped me put a lot of things into perspective. You feel me? Because when you're in the moment, it's like this. Like I played football, right? And one time I got cracked, bro. You feel me? Like, like I split the A gap and the fullback met me when I was trying to sack the quarterback and I hurt my knee. But because of my adrenaline, I didn't feel it, yo. I didn't feel it till the next day. You feel me? But that's because I was so focused on the game that I wasn't going to feel anything. And to bring that back to life and like back to reality, it's like you can have so much going on that something can happen, but you're not really focused on it, so you don't really feel the effects of it until you really sit down and you get to assess everything. So it was just like I needed to slow down and really, you know, make sure I was straight, bro. Because it was like everything was going great, but it wasn't like I really considered how I felt about things. It was more so like as long as shit is going how it's supposed to, then I can just keep moving instead of really seeing how I really felt about certain things that was going on.
You think it's a society thing where it's just the typical man has to do all that stuff and he doesn't take any type of, I don't want to bring this up, but mental health is a big thing now. Do you think that's just a society thing? Like, do you think that's just how, you know, the new generation, old generation comes into play?
I think it's a society thing, but I think it's also more prevalent for us because we're already fighting so many stigmas. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like Black women definitely are the backbone of the Black community, but there's a lot of brothers who stick around and help out too. You feel me? So we're fighting against a lot of stereotypes and a lot of stigmas that have been placed on us. So it's extra pressure. You feel me? It's the same way like when we go to a job or we go to a professional setting, and there's the belief that we have to be twice as good to get half the respect, which is facts in a lot of places. So it's the same thing in different communities. You feel me? It's a never ending dynamic when it comes to Black men. You feel me? So I feel like, my bad, bro. I'm not trying to get on the soapbox and shit, bro.
No, it's good. It's good because I got
yeah.
another question behind that though. Like, for instance, Do you think it's more of a community-based thing with black people going against black people? I'll give you an example on that. Or do you think it's how I would say how the white man is getting us to go at each other and they're just watching?
Wow, that is, I've never even thought about that. I think that a lot of it is placed on us by us, but at the same time, like, he did his part too. You know what I mean? The whole continually separating black families, whether it be through slavery, whether it be through, you know, like government assistance. You take this government assistance, you can't have a man in the house type situation. So it diminishes the view of the male and the perspective of the family. You know what I mean? Because how you gonna, like, you gonna respect and love your father? Like, it's too much to get into, dog. But like, it's a different vision. It's a different type of. It's so much shit that's gonna have to get cut from this interview, bro. But like, I've never heard no other race. I've never heard another race of I've never heard another group of women say something like, "Oh, I don't need a man. Niggas ain't shit, this, that, and the third." I've never heard that from no other race. They probably feel that way, but it's not vocalized, celebrated, proliferated through the media and through everyday conversation like it is in our community. You feel me? So I think that it's both. I think it's a mix of both. I think that mainly it's put on us by us, but there's a reason why it's been put on us, and it's because of them. So, and not them being the sisters, them being the Yakubians. So.
I'm gonna move on there.
Yeah.
Divine Guidance.
Right. Divine Guidance is the last song. J. Powell music made the beat. Just Divine Guidance. I named it that because of a very hard line that Trey Bless had. Because at first I didn't have a name for it. I was trying to figure out what we should call it. And then that line like really stuck out to me. So that's what I called it. And then it fits with the theme of you know, just going through everything that happened and during the process of making this album. So that's just how I wanted to end that. Just wanted to end it on that, like, a positive, powerful note.
Okay.
And an uplifting note. Like, that beat is really like joyful, you feel me? So I wanted to, like, okay, we went through the rain, now we're shining for it.
Going into that also, all the features you have on here, do you think that it will either motivate more Baltimore rappers, or do you think it will do you think it will get like non-supportive, like haters or whatever the case, or you think it's going to be a combination of both when they listen to the full album?
Yo, what Chakra say, yo, he said, I got a lot of support. I could use some haters, man. I'm not worried about, bro. I think that the reaction to this, as far as the collaborations, I think that's going to continue. Baltimore is in a very interesting place right now musically. Like, we're really in the middle of a renaissance. Like, on They Still Need Food, I got a song with Beto from NASA It. It's another collective. Basically, like, the time that we're in right now, as far as Baltimore music goes, especially in the underground, it's a very supportive time. It's a very, you know, like, very distinct time. Like, a lot of people have their own styles. A lot of people are like people doing their own thing, but it's like we can appreciate each other's differences and collaborate and work together. Like, so definitely expect big things coming out of the scene. Like, I think that it's going to inspire more collaboration, because at the end of the day, even if we're not from the same squad, the same zone, we still all on the same team. You feel me? Like, we all are Baltimore artists. So there's no reason to be, and of course, like, hip hop is a competitive sport. We in a very competitive city. Like, there's going to be, you know, tension and shit like that. But for the most part, there's a lot of support right now. So I think that it's going to continue the trend of people who you would normally see working together, work together.
Do you think that Baltimore has a sound? Baltimore, just in music in general, not just rappers. Do you think Baltimore has a sound?
Baltimore Baltimore sound would be club music. You know, Jersey be trying to jock us or whatever. Like, really, it would be Baltimore club music. But as far as outside of that, like, I don't think Baltimore necessarily has a music sound. I feel like Baltimore got an energy. You know what I mean? Like, Baltimore has a certain swagger, a certain attitude that people display in the music or how they dance, like just in the way you do everyday things. However you choose to express yourself, something from Baltimore, influenced that. Something from Baltimore. There's a reason why, like I use a lot of punchlines. You feel me? I use a lot of, like, I brag. My music isn't like based in bragging, but like that's what we do. We talk shit. You feel me? Like, but like outside of that, bro, it's like Baltimore is it's a real place. It's a very, like hard place. You feel me? So I feel like when you say you come from, like I told you in that last interview when it was me and the squad, and you asked us, is there like a disadvantage or an advantage to being a Baltimore artist? Like, yes, when you say you're from Baltimore, people automatically expect a certain grit. Like they expect you to really bring it. Like only the strong survive here. I mean, and we wear that with pride. You feel me? And I feel like that comes out in the music, that comes out in the way people dance. Like you can see in the faces of people rocking off and really killing it. You see the look on they, like they know they killing it. Like, you know what I'm saying, bro. You get what I'm saying. I'm trying to explain it for people who might not be from Baltimore. Like they like, wow, oh, like, what is that? You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm letting you say, because I already know what you're saying, but I'm just saying for people that might be just getting introduced to you from the West Coast or London, whatever the case may be, they might want to see past the accents and all the funny little videos on Instagram and all that. And then they start seeing that, okay, this guy's doing boom bap. He's pretty much bringing a nostalgia to music. So they might look at you compared to Avenue, and thinking that everybody raps, and two and stuff, and start taking Baltimore seriously. So, and you see it anywhere you go. Like you can go Midwest, West Coast, up north, and people might not take you serious because they just think you're a joke. And then they start saying like, oh, okay,
they don't take it serious till they hear the bars. Like I said in flows, people said New York was hostile. The crowd did not boo me. Like they were really messing with it. The thing is, right, and especially coming from Baltimore, right, I've done mad shows where I'm the only artist that's not doing trap music or not doing commercial type of music. The thing is that if it's real, the people going to respond to it. The people going to feel it. They know if it's not real. You feel me? And this ain't the type of place where like you can go to Towson and Roland Park and do that shit. You feel me? But in Baltimore, it's a different type of energy. You can't be boasting in front of Baltimore and they not going to say something. People going to make sure you hit it. You feel me? So I can go somewhere like New York and we perform in the Bushwick. I can go to Philly. I can go to DC, Virginia. I can go wherever. And as long, you know what I mean? Like if they fucking with real hip hop, they going to fuck with it, bro. As long, it's authentic, bro. It's just a certain realness that we maintain in the music.
Another question I have is how important is it to have support? Even though we talk about it on a separate conversation, how important is it to have support in your position where you're doing everything? You're making sure everybody doing everything. You have a group that you got to take care of. I wouldn't say take care of. Let me say be a part of.
You said it right, bro. I mean, I'm playing, but yeah. Like all jokes aside, bro. Like support definitely is important. That's why I make sure that I put my best foot forward every time. Anything that I put my name on, you know what I mean? That means that I support this, I approve this message type shit. So it's like, I need to make sure that the quality never dips. I keep giving the people what they want, bro. And it seems to me that people really like that hardcore, raw lyricism and with the beats to match. You don't come to me for cookie cutter type shit. You feel me? Like, I'm like the opposite of that purposefully. So, bro, it's so much shit we gotta take out of it, you know. I purposely make sure to keep it 100% raw and authentic, bro. But like, support is very important, and that's why, like, you know, like we definitely the thing is that we appreciate the listeners, we appreciate the fans, especially the ones that like that come out, watch the shows, watch the live stream shows, everything of that nature. But like, I think that it's a given that they know that we're not doing this solely for monetary gain. We really love this art form that is called hip hop. You know what I mean? We love the culture. We're in the culture. We love the culture, made by the culture. You know, on some FUBU shit for us, by us. You know what I mean? So, but like, we definitely appreciate the fans, the listeners, everybody who listens to the music, everybody that puts other people on. It's very important. It's very important.
Also, when it came to this album, can you tell me your favorite song and your favorite bar from this album?
My favorite song and my favorite bar, man. I don't know. Probably my favorite bar is probably off a Time Zone when I was like, bar so cold I might need chapstick. Like that shit was hilarious to me, bro. Like, but like Rod the Blizz, he had mad quotables too. Like I don't really think I have a favorite, bro. That's probably my favorite bar. My favorite song is probably No Stepped On Work or In and Out of Consciousness, because In and Out of Consciousness was the hardest one for me to make because it took me a minute to find the right type of beat for it.
And speaking of beats, also, like, maybe I asked you this before, but I'll ask you again. How is your process now compared to what you said before when it comes to making beats?
How's my process now? As in, okay, so in comparison to how I used to make beats?
Well, based off the last conversation we had, the last podcast, when I asked you that, how is your process now compared to before? Are you using, I'm not telling you to all your techniques, but I'm just saying, like,
right, yeah, I can't do that, bro. You know what I mean? But no, like I can go into it. So I would say now it's more experimental. You know what I mean? I'm definitely taking more time with it. I still would say that it takes the same amount of like, it takes like a fairly like same amount of time, but I'm paying more attention to detail. And I'm sampling stuff where it's like, okay, what the average producer might have thought was the loop, like, no, like I'm going deeper into the samples, going deeper into the stems to find like something else is really like, as opposed to like, if I had to compare my style to my production style, like, as opposed to being on some like Eric Sermon, Redman type of like beat choice, I've mainly been on some like Madlib, Dilla, Kanye type shit now. So I would say that it's changed where it's more like it's smoother, more jazz as opposed to like soul and funk. So yeah.
And the last question I really have, I didn't ask you this last time, but how many vinyl tapes do you have? Or vinyl?
How many records
do
I
have?
have?
Vinyl tapes is what? What would you use?
Vinyl records. How many records do I have?
Yeah.
How many records do I have? I have at least, okay, so I want to say at least 1,000, though. I want to say at least 1,000. Because it's not just in one room, it's in 2 rooms. So I want to say at least 1,000.
Okay, for the people that's making samples, can you tell them how important it is to get the vinyls compared to YouTube and just off the internet? What's the importance of having a vinyl compared to getting it off the internet?
I think that it's more of a personal touch when you take it straight from the record. When you take it straight from the record, you don't have to add. Because a lot of people are adding, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But a lot of people are adding the dust and the vinyl sounds to it. You can naturally have that if you just take it straight from the vinyl. But also, it's just like, I think there's more that you can do with this. Like, you can manipulate the sample. You take it and you put it into your beat machine or whatever you're using to make the beat on. But it's like when you take it straight from the record, you can scratch and stuff too, but it's just a more hands-on feel. And I feel like it comes out better to me when you go straight from the record, or if you go straight from the VHS, like I was telling you the other day, like me and Chili Mad, like we got a VCR, we're about to put that in the SP next week for. But like I just think that it has more of a personal touch when you take it straight from the vinyl as opposed to like an MP3 file or something like that, taking it off of YouTube. Like.
So wrapping up, once again, where do you see this album taking you into the next year?
I believe that this album is it's like an icebreaker. This album is going to hold people until the next episode 2 drops, till Raid 2 drops, Rappers Are in Danger, the BBL project. Like I'm working on an album with J Power Music. Got another album with Lil Web. It's mad different collab tapes coming out, bro. Liberated Scarfaces, like I said earlier, Chakra, like. But I think that this will hold people until like we drop. This was like, I got to get this off my chest. Like I think the people are gonna rock with this too. But this mainly was for me. You feel me? Like I made it for the people, but it was like I got to get this off my chest before I can move forward. And now that I can move forward, I got like, you know, not to be cliche, but I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I mean, so definitely will show people like what we on. But this is like, if I had to compare it, right? This album is just in a special place of its own. Like it's non-canon in relation to everything else. You feel me? So it's there, but like you wouldn't have to put it in a chronological order. It's not where like, okay, if you heard the next episode 1, you need, like if you are about to bump next episode 2, you need to have heard next episode 1 in the 6-day theory, because it'll make more sense in that context. This is like you can just listen to it and you can take it for what it is, as opposed to it having strings attached to other projects.
So wrapping up, of course, to everybody, once again, your IG, your email, and how they can get in contact with you.
You get in contact with me at dskillz on Twitter and Instagram. You can get in contact with the group at DBL Records 2020 on Instagram. DBL Records, that's the Facebook page. My email, dskillzthepoet@gmail.com. Man, oh yeah, let me not forget, we have a show on March the 18th in Annapolis, at the Art Farm Place. That's gonna be this Saturday we're gonna be ciphering and have an interview live on the air. But I'm not going, bro. This man shit in the works, bro.
Well, that's a wrap for podcast number 109. I'm your host, Sammy Loco, and we're out.
Had to catch myself.
Yeah, each and every day I'm trying to get paid, cause money don't sleep. Money don't sleep. Money don't sleep. Each and every day I'm trying to get paid, cause money don't sleep. Money don't sleep. Each and every day I'm trying to get paid, cause money don't sleep. If you don't work, you don't eat.